Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we finally say farewell to the Martian successor Nadesico collaboration, it's essentially going to be going back to business as per usual with new bots or even returning bots that are incoming, but it looks like they kind of threw us in for a little bit of a loop and gave us a little bit of a possible teaser as what to expect through the month of September. As for those that are unaware with the Medarot series, September actually celebrates the anniversary of two games specifically, Medarot Navi being the most recent, or closest to us at current time of recording, and Medarot 7 relatively early next week as well. But it looks like there's a really good chance we're going to be staying largely Navi-centric this week, which most certainly I don't think anybody's going to complain with. And they're most certainly also starting off with the right foot with the introduction of not one but two returnees from the days of old and the days of Medarot Navi. One of which, one of the OG variants of a Kamen rider that has been largely talked about and begged to make a return for quite some time with a new skill under his belt to join the battlefield. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week, starting of course with the gacha banners and what to expect. Now, for the new models we have going on this week, as you see we have two of them here. The first of which is FDL0 Cradle, the French doll type, with a kit of Confusion, Double Provoke, Sea Legs, and the leg ability of Elusive. But most importantly, and probably the one going to be getting the most attention as far as this week is concerned, as well as community engagement and feedback, by the way, is GHP01 Suite, Medarot's very own version of the OG Kamen Rider, with a kit of Mobile Cooler, Double Fire Claw, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Assault. Now, Suite in particular definitely got the better end of the deal for this week, or sweeter end of the deal if you want to really play with the puns there. But he's also introducing a brand new skill that is most certainly going to be tying up some new meta, and an update that comes along with him to make him even more powerful the second he hits the field. Explaining Fire Claw briefly, it's basically just your regular Claw Scatter type skill, but with the ability to induce a fire damage over time effect on the target. So nothing really overly special or broken or conditional like all these new skills like Sanction or Shotgun or anything else of the like. It's a little closer to home in terms of simplicity, but still going to be a very powerful skill all the same. And the reason why in particular that Suite is going to be getting a lot better through the much better end of this deal is also because of the quality of life mechanics update that's also covered, but I will get to that just momentarily as we go through today's coverage. Now, for the boosted rates that are going on this week, that are specializing in both Cradle and Suite's banners, is NAV0 Navi Kamu with Cooler Plant, Double Power Link, Float Legs, and Auto Repair. Navi Kamu, for those that are well versed with her or remember her in Medarot Navi or her more recent role in the Medarot S or even 9 where she was present, she is also capable of meta changing and growing into a much more adult-like form. In this form, she doesn't really change her kit out all that much, instead exchanging a couple skills for Charge Plant, Double Power Link, Biped Legs, and Charm. So very good if you want to have someone that has very high speed at basically any given opportunity, with the added heat cool bonuses that Power Link does allow Navico to give to people. Additionally, we also have KOL00 Suicide, the penultimate final boss to Medarot Navi, also making a rerun and with a boosted rate in the banners, with a kit of Zero Gravity, Sword, Needle Guard, Multi-Legs, and the leg ability of High Fly. Now, compared to most of the leg abilities that have that 30% but contingency, High Fly is probably going to be one of the much better ones, and Zero Suicide definitely has one of the best currently as far as that kind of ability variant is concerned. Even though he may not hit nearly as much, and he's going to be more of a utility fighter, or an aggressive utility fighter, I guess I can call it, more than an actual nuker or boss type, it's still going to be a very good model to have on hand, even as a just in case, as you go through and collect parts for your libraries. Now, for the Fierce battles we have going on this week, it's going to be a much more diverse variety of what we can expect. A couple of Navi returnees to kind of join the fun and kind of keep with the theme here as well, but a lot of other bots mixed in between as well. For the top row here, starting us off, we have CLA0 Kanahachi Mach 2 with Triple Hold, Sea Legs, Multi-Legs, and Mariner. We have GBG01 Fret Beat with Fight Boost, Beam Sword, Fire, Biped Legs, and Rate and Generator. And GBB01 Slap Beat with Shoot Boost, Beam, Thunder Shot, Flight Legs, and Radiator. On this bottom row, we have GBD0 Blast Beat with Guard Boost, Double Break Hammer, Tank Legs, and Barrier. SGT0 Sagittarius, and the only Navi returnee that's coming back for the Fierce Battles for this particular week, with Suction, Defense and Evade Seal, Flight Legs, and Hidden. And then, last but not least, everybody's favorite resident champion, KIN0 Kintaro, with Press, Double Hammer, Biped Legs, and Endurance. Now, honestly, it was kind of hard to pick an MVP of the week this week because, honestly, all 6 of these models have something very useful in one term or another. Just kind of going over briefly, Kanahachi Mach 2 for multi-legs with Mariner is always nice for the terrain coverage. Fret Beat for basically free Beam Sword if you're willing to raise it. Slap Beat for basically free Thunder Shot and relatively decent Flight Legs as well. Blast Beat for Break Hammer and for Heavy Punish and relatively solid Tank Legs at that. Sagittarius for Defense and Evade Seal if you choose to use those on your teams. And Kintaro for your regular all-around collateral damage as well. Ultimately, I did have to give MVP of the week to Fret Beat primarily, mostly because of just the kind of damage output that you can clock with Beam Sword if you're willing to raise it all the way up. Because it is actually a very powerful attack and probably the highest base damage output you could probably clock from any of these particular models here. But it's still going to be expensive to raise, and just a fair warning to you on that as you begin and farm for this week's box. All the same, it is worth to farm all 6 just to have them on hand, especially if you are a newcomer or a rookie that's just starting out, as it's always better to have parts in the library and raise later than it is to not go after it and need it later and find out you're kind of up a creek with no paddle because you skipped out. Now, as far as event stuff is concerned this week, we are most certainly not slowing down the momentum as far as events and such are concerned. So it's basically that business as per normal with lack of collabs, but the momentum is still there all the same. This week, however, it'll be the first event of very likely a two-week type of event. Only with this week, we have the opportunity to earn a lot of Navi-centric rerun rewards that were previously unavailable or took a long time to really come back around. For this first wave of the event, we have the opportunity to earn Medarot's Fubuki and Kazanbai, the R-rank versions respectively. Fubuki was one of the heads of security for the Navi cluster module in Medarot Navi, and Kazanbai was also the main antagonist to the series. So very good, also very good to have those on hand, even if it is the R-rank versions. We have the opportunity to also earn rerun rewards such as CPM0 Nuts Cracker with Destroy, Double Effect Clear, Wheeled Legs, and Forester, as well as CCC0 Yellow Crick with Field Control, Double Bug, Biped Legs, and Straight. We also can earn the Master Medal once again, which is a Guard Nature Medal with a Mastery in Support, Setup, and Healing, with a Leg Mastery in Biped, Floating, and Sea. So this one's going to be a predominantly support and defense-based, support and healing-based medal more than anything else, but still always good to have on the back end just in case. You can also earn more limited time mystery illustrations and some extra gacha tickets on top of that. So this is most certainly going to be an event you really don't want to miss. While it may not be necessarily anything new for seasoned veterans, the opportunity to collect on Cradle or even Sweets, if either of those two do tickle your fancy, is still going to be a welcome addition all the same. This event is going to be geared mostly toward all the newcomers and rookies that missed out on a lot of these things because they only just recently started playing and have not had the chance to collect them or farm the events that they were part of. This event specifically will be ticket-based, however, so bonuses will stack additively per part that is relative to a bonus. For the red ticket bonuses, as you see here, of course, Zero Suicide and Navi Kamu will give you a +3 per part each. A +2 each will give you for Kabuto Benimaru, Kuwagata Bison, Bahamut, and Black Lester on that top row. And on the bottom row, Kaiser Beetle, Luminous Stag, Grand Beetle, and Sonic Stag. So I like to believe we are most likely going to be seeing boosted rates for either of these 6 models as the week progresses into the second half of the event, which I do highly anticipate is coming. For the Fierce Battles, it'll be a +1 each per each part equipped, of course, like standard protocol. And it'll be a +2 for the Medarotters of R rank for Kazumi, Hiyori, or Shiden, and a +1 for the N rank versions of them respectively. For the gold ticket bonuses, it'll be a +3 for each part of Suite or Cradle, respectively, and a +3 for either of the 3 Metarotters in their SR forms. Now, granted that the SR versus Metarotters are in the standard pool, those are probably going to be the easiest things to collect, so I don't think anyone's going to really have a problem collecting on any of the gold ticket bonuses through the course of this event. But the red ticket bonuses may or may not be a little tricky, because between the bottom 4 models there, or even just bottom 5 actually, if you include Navi Kamu, it's 5 models that are all meta change capable, and it's going to be kind of messy unless you are really, really lucky with the gacha banners. But if you do choose to go after them, I do wish you the best of luck in your gacha pulls. May your wanters be your havers. Additionally, as far as game stuff is concerned, now talking about that quality of life update that was mentioned as well. So a lot of models that use fire or melt type DOT effects are going to really, really benefit or detriment from this based on the situation once this patch goes live, and Suite is going to be the one that introduces it. But basically, fire and melt attacks really weren't all that useful because the DOTs really didn't do anything lasting, and if anyone did actually inflict one on you in the past, it was more or less kind of a free shot because you could really kind of rely on it not breaking you too much over time. Well, those days are now over. So starting this next patch when everything does go live, fire will now be dealing about 600 damage per tick instead of 150 at a quadruple bonus. Actually, they're quadrupling both the damage over time effects here, and melt instead at 225 will now be dealing 750. So now, as your armor melts off, you will be actually able to see it in real time, because 600 to 750 is actually going to be a whole lot more noticeable than just the 150 to 225. This is where you're going to have to really start panicking a little bit if anyone brings any kind of damage over time effect to the field. And if you are using something like Shoot Full Charge or Fight Full Charge, which applies the melt effect itself, Meteor, Flame, or anything else of the like, now you're going to kind of be in trouble a little bit, because this DOT will also apply to you as well if you do choose to overload yourself with that effect. Do make sure you kind of keep that on the forefront of your mind and just kind of pay attention to it so you don't melt yourself into oblivion once this new patch does go live. Now, as always, we are still always going to be getting more super invasions to keep the higher end difficulty content going. This time we'll be seeing 2 new super invasions featuring Suite and Cradle going to join the fray as well. No real telling on what the modifiers for those could be, because they're essentially anything goes, but given anything as a possibility or as a theory, I suspect Suites probably will not allow anyone to use, say, stat cleanse or anything else of the like, and Cradles will probably also kind of ban something similar to that to exercise the full use of Provoke. But given that Cradle is also a sea-legged, good chance that they may also ban anti-sea just for the extra coverage just in case. Now, one other thing to mention before I do go on, I was kind of concerned and questioning about Cradle's model ID at FDR0, because for folks that are unaware, Cradle is actually the upgrade to another French doll type that was introduced in Navi called Lala. So I'm not 100% sure if they're planning just to kind of forget about Lala, or this was a mistype and she's actually 01, but I do want to say, I just want to make a comment on it now, just in case anyone asks me later. I was also scratching my head on it, but I'm just going to kind of go with the official news, and if they make any updates, well, I can go change it on my end, no problem. One last thing as far as game stuff is concerned is that we do have our teaser at the September PvP skins and rewards that will be going live through the month of September as well. This month, we have the opportunity to earn an Anzuto-styled Kabuto Benimaru and a Cameo-styled Kuwagata Bison, and both of which are looking rather adorable with their alt takes in comparison to the female version that they're based off of. And we can also earn the Blazer Uniform Style Blazermate, which is a rerun skin from a prior event, from a prior month. The same can be said for the Benimaru style Kabuto and the Bison styled Cameo, with both of which will be added to the skin shop over the course of September as well. So if you missed them the first time, this is your chance to go after them and collect them. And a friendly reminder, just because you have the skins does not mean you have the bot. So you will still need to go after the bot in the gacha and collect them first before you can actually make use of the skin. But they're still very nice all the same. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about having a really bright, high contrast color Bison like that with the blue and the purple, but I have to say the little beetle wing ears on Benimaru do look rather adorable, so I am looking forward to seeing the 3D turnarounds of those once they do go live this week as well to kick us off into September. As far as community stuff is concerned, we are still always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors that are currently ongoing. Right now, Medarot 3 is thankfully 100% completed, just some minor spelling errors here and there that are being cleaned up, but there is still being a whole lot more work now being pushed toward Medarot 4. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, or have some time on your hands, or would love to stop in and help out, or if you know somebody that does, definitely feel free to send them our way, ask around, and we are most certainly happy to fill them in on what has been done and what still needs done up to this point, because Medarot 4 has a whole lot more text than Medarot 3 did, and it's going to need a whole lot more pairs of eyes to kind of keep an eye on things and try to help keep things going at a steady pace, especially if you want to work on other games like 5 and Navi, or even other titles like the 3D ones and so on. So feel free to reach out to us. We can most certainly fill you in and get you in touch with the right people if you've not found them at that time. Now with the weekly art highlights here on the MNN, I chose to only highlight one particular piece this week, kind of showcasing a lot of love for Medarot Navi. This one here by Twitter user Pikugatsu, who I love to showcase stuff from every here and there, showcasing basically not necessarily a crossfire attack, but a cross-combo style attack between Grand Beetle and Kaiser Beetle in particular. And for those that are unaware, both of these are very adept users at the crossfire set and release skill, so needless to say, both of these can work together very, very synergetically, and it's certainly no surprise that seeing them side to side like this would be a very common sight across a lot of Navi fans. Definitely give Pikugatsu a follow if you'd like to see more of this wonderful style of art in your feed. One final note before I do wrap us up here, just a friendly reminder, I am always open for commission, so if you are looking for a live 2D artist for your VTuber model that's ready to rig, if you're looking for a 3D model, fully rigged, textured, optimized, the whole package ready to go, standard art of varying degrees of detail, or even emotes, I am more than happy to give you a hand with that and we can work something out. Feel free to reach out to me on Discord or on Twitter, and we can most certainly try to coordinate a price and a order for what you're looking for and try to make it tailor-fit to what you want. But with all that aside, I believe that covers basically everything for this week's episode. So again, like I said, it's business as usual as far as like bringing in older bots and new bots are concerned. We do have some other story chapters that are incoming from Medarot S as well, so the Ruby farms will indeed be back up and running for just a little bit for the veteran players. But that being said, I am looking forward to seeing just if they do stick with keeping September Navi-centric, or if they choose to kind of stretch things out just a little bit going forward. But if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community, which is still skyrocketing and now currently almost 33,000 members and still growing by the day. I'm so proud to see that community growing, and I'm so happy to see where it's going, the direction of activity that it's been seeing in recent months as well. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, my weekly episodes and breakdowns, or anything else of the like. The Discord server is the first place you're going to hear it before it goes anywhere else on the net. Lastly, you can also follow me on Twitter at Isagamikura, so if you have any questions, feedback, comments, suggestions, or anything else of the like, definitely feel free to reach out to me, and I'm most certainly happy to get back to you when I can. That also includes any content creators that would love to collaborate with me. That is either having you here with me on the MNN as a guest host, of which there is always an open seat here available, or having me stop in on your channel for a friendly chat or a game. I would love to coordinate with you. Also, do give Blue Miso 99 and Madama Usagi, both wonderful artists in the Medarot community as well. I love giving the chance to kind of put the spotlight on a lot of artists in the community as well, just kind of give a chance to tell people about them and what they do. And I love seeing their art or updates to their art in my feeds, and you most certainly will not be sorry adding them to your daily feeds as well. But with all this being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.